Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Jared and Nate with Carrier Check. I'm excited. We have Tara on today. We're going to be doing some live sales calls, some sales training, and everything like that. But before we jump into that, Nate, I want to hear some of the questions that you got from this week. What did Carrier Check do to help some people? Talk about how people contacted you. To just talk through some of the questions that we got this week.
Okay, definitely. First off, everyone, thanks for joining. Everyone on TikTok, we are on YouTube live, so if you want to see Tara as well, go to YouTube, check us out. Yeah, so I've had some quite a bit of interesting questions. Is a lot of organization
Mm,
questions. How do I say organized? Um, and then I think it's really been about the same: finding shippers, finding carriers. I was talking to Tara about that. We get a lot of newer those freight brokers, obviously, right? They're trying to start up and they're finding out their ways. And actually, an interesting one, I've been getting a lot of carriers calling me.
mm.
So what's kind of cool is that with the carrier check here, we're going to help you source those leads, and keep you organized and provide you a way to reach out to carriers and brokers. And if you guys are interested in seeing a live free demo, anyone can come and join every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Go to ecarriercheck.com, sign up for a demo, hit us up. Let's talk.
Yeah, absolutely. So today, obviously, we're going to be doing some sales calls. I want to share a story from one of my I just met with a broker last week and had the opportunity to talk to him about how do I write a successful email? How do I get a decent open rate? What is a decent open rate, right? And so we targeted a few people, and I really got to tell this story because this is really interesting. We targeted a handful of people that were really specifically niche
Yeah.
to what it is that he was wanting to do, right? And I'll just it was a client essentially that, or the industry was eggs. He was trying to get in with an egg shipper, and because he was so niche, and because of the service that he wanted to provide for this particular egg shipper, right? It was interesting. We sent out 10 emails. We wrote a real simple subject line. There was 3 or 4 words in it. And then honestly, the email, I got to say, it was like literally a sentence and a half,
Yeah.
almost 2 sentences.
It's nothing crazy, huh?
And we got a 50% open rate on those emails that we sent out because we were going so niche,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
And so I see all these emails going out. We see a lot of emails going out from our technology, our database, and I think if you really start to narrow who you're going after, Tara mentioned earlier, she's like, I really want to find more box truck shippers. It's like, okay, that's a good niche, right?
Yep.
It's hard to do. Those are hard people to find, and so I guess I really want to just talk about, we got to keep things simple. You don't have to, he didn't introduce himself. He didn't say the name of his company. He just went in and said, hey, you know, I do liquid tanker egg loads. Are you the right person? And
Pretty
it was that
simple.
simple.
Yeah.
And next thing he was already having this conversation, right? He got the opportunity to meet with them, talk about, what they do, what he does. And, last I talked to him, he was getting ready to do a couple loads for him later next week.
That's awesome.
So it kind of interesting how that worked. I really think keeping it simple. I think a lot of people send these same emails, and I really want to make sure that people are trying to think through. What does a shipping manager want to hear from me as far as an email? Um, boy, you can get some crazy emails out there, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Hey, you got any freight you want to quote?" It's tough to get that in there.
Yeah.
Tara, obviously, welcome. I'm excited that you're with us today. Tara, I wouldn't mind, before you do some cold calling, I wouldn't mind talking about your strategy when it comes to emailing shippers. What's worked, what hasn't. Even what is a daily practice for sending emails or response emails. Tell me more about that form of communication. Tara, we can't hear you. We can't hear you, Tara.
Hey guys, I'm here now. Okay, thanks for having me on. I'm really excited about the software. It's been a really great journey for me. My game has really stepped up since introducing eCarrier Check into my toolbox. So I'm really happy to spend some time with you this morning. Just a little brief background for those who don't know me. Tara Wise Love with Freightways. I started in logistics about 12 years ago in non-emergency medical transportation. So that migrated to the administrative work, and those busy dispatchers out there know exactly what that means. Fast forward to last year when I started logistics training, and then on to opening my carrier company, and from there my brokerage. When I entered the world of commercial trucking, it was exciting and the possibilities were there. However, I went with mainstream. I went with flatbed van reefer, right? That's where we all start. Super great. And then I said, okay, well, I'm not going to specify. I'm just going to find out what works. And everything worked. I didn't really know how to specify. So I just kind of picked the drivers I liked and I said, okay, well, since they're on this equipment, then I'll just focus on this equipment. But then, of course, I would meet somebody else and they would have other equipment. And so it kind of spread my energy out. Over time, I learned how to specify according to my particular skill set, my particular talent variety that I have, that I will bring to the industry. And that's what I train towards. I train towards individual talent pool to draw from, because otherwise you're reaching out there and you just can't touch everything, right? So you be a professional where you are. And so it actually wound up, I did not like light trucks. I did not like light trucks. I wanted to do full truckloads only. But because part of my skill set is inspiration, it seemed that a lot of box trucks just kind of gravitated over. I didn't have anything for them. And I was looking. E-carrier check came into the forefront pretty quickly, and I realized that I could have a very large database at my fingertips that would be beneficial for all of the carriers and providers that I service. So I used that tool to my advantage, and we're going to go through a little bit today of the busy background work that I'm doing with eCarrier Check. I do want to mention, as far as communication is concerned, because we live in a dynamic industry, okay, this world is very small. Once you start to make a phone call, send an email, etc. Okay. I do find that email is becoming, I'm not going to say extinct, but it's becoming almost the last line. Okay. So yeah, when we're moving so fast in technology, okay. And for those of you who have heard about the driverless trucks and the battery electric vehicles and everything, fear not. There's a place for all of us, okay? But it seems to take away the human element. As people, we need that connection. We need to believe that things are real, authentic, genuine, and the only way we could do that is by connecting with another person. So for that reason, and this is based upon feedback. This is not Coach Tara's imagination. This is based upon feedback from people who, like me, might be stuck in front of the computer all day. It's nice to hear a friendly voice on the other end of the line. It's nice to hear someone who is not trying to sell me something, right? Or some android trying to pretend to be a person. So I say phone calls. Pick up the 100-pound phone, make a phone call. Okay. Secondarily, I would do email, but I would definitely say, hey, I just want to let you know I called and left a message. Right. And then, so therefore they already know when their email, because they're busy, they check their email, they know, oh, well, this is a real person who tried to reach out to me, not just somebody who's trying to sell me a truck or sell me in their business. Right. So I always go for the most personable way first. If it's possible, telephone. If it's a cell phone number, I will text. Sometimes text can be viewed as personal. Not in business. You put your mobile phone out there, you text them. Okay.
Yeah.
So so I will always go to the phone first to address your inquiry, Jerry.
Yeah,
Um,
no, that absolutely, I would agree. I think the phone is the best way to communicate. It was an interesting success story from the email, so I was like, okay, we'll see how Tara does it. I agree with the action items as well there, Tara. So today, obviously, you're going to be doing some sales calls, some cold calling, possibly follow up. I'm not sure what you've got lined up for us, but walk us through your cold calling strategy as far as what kind of research, how much digging are you doing? What does it look like, for you?
So I'm very surface level when it comes to research. Now, granted, I do encourage a quick background, and I'm talking about like maybe 2 minutes of quick research just to say, hey, how's this company doing online? Is everything a 1 star? So, but also I will say, and for those of you who have visited the world of e-carrier check and have seen colors like amber and red, don't worry about those colors. Usually on any software, it's kind of like, red is, pay attention and kind of notice it and perhaps, put it on the wayside. No, don't do that. And I'm going to tell you why afterward. But I always kind of look to give the benefit of the doubt. In this industry, in our industry, the world of logistics, this whole industry is built on benefit of the doubt. The entire industry. Okay. And there are people from all walks of life in this industry. We give people the benefit of the doubt. Why? Because we want to keep the freight moving forward. Let's not forget why we're here. Right. So that's the first why. And that's why I will just go down the list and make phone calls. I will just go and then I'll do research afterward. If I'm on a roll, I'll do research afterward. So my goal is to get in front of as many people as possible just to say hi. And maybe they don't care about me for whatever reason. They don't have the truck I need them to service, or they don't service what truck I have for them. They don't have any room on their roster. Whatever reason, they might reject me. Right. A little spark of kindness. Bam! I just improved the industry. I sure did. And I've had feedback from that. I didn't think it was real until I had to come back maybe 6 months, maybe 8 months, maybe a year later and talk to the same people. And they remember me because not many people in this industry are anything other than sales on the broker side. For those of you who are new brokers, this is a sales job.
Yeah.
However, we say cold calling, right? We say cold calling. Okay. However, this is soft sales. We're offering people money. We're offering them money. So it's up to them if they're like, we have enough money. We don't really want money from that side of the country or whatever. Yeah, that's fine. No problem. But we're offering people money. How many other sales jobs can do that? There is enough money in this industry to go around. Yes. So everybody has options. But if we're sitting there saying, hey, I can make you money. Hey, here's some money, then that's a whole different mindset. And therefore you can make connections even if they say no. Okay. So, so as far as research, yes, it's done. It's usually done for me either on the very quick front end. If I say, oh, that's an interesting name of a company, or that seems like a little smaller company, let me just double check, then fine. Okay. But I rely so heavily on e-carrier check that I don't care while I'm making phone calls. I don't care. Okay. I will do research on the back end. So, and if I like them, if I like the person on the other end, I'll just jot their name down and keep them in my my little section on e-carrier check. I'll make sure that I will revisit them because they might even say yes, but still I want to know more about their company because then I'm going to become partners with them later on. And this is focused on long-term partnership. That's why we make connections. Doesn't matter otherwise. And I'm going to tell you what, if you're a new broker and you have a strong sales background, make sure make sure that you're focused on longevity for your contacts. If you're not focused on a long-term relationship, then you're part of the problem. Sorry, not sorry. Okay. So we need to make sure that we establish something good on our corner of the industry, because you're going to be remembered.
Yeah.
And you may not be remembered by name, voice, or anything like that, but you may be remembered just by the feeling somebody gets after talking to you, and that maybe you're a broker or a dispatcher or a trucker, right? And so they're going to say, these brokers, everyone's heard it, these brokers, all they want is, they're out for blood, all they want is money, they're just taking money away from the truck and all that. Don't do that. Make sure you have a good impression. Doesn't matter who you talk to. If they're a crab, let them be a crab. That's them, not you. So we, and then we just move on to the next phone call we need to make, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to make some quick phone calls just to see what we could do. Now, I'm not going to do any. I'm going to save it for our e-carrier check team to go through the specifics on how I do this. I was given an excellent tip before. I was going a long way around the barn, but apparently there's a shortcut, and I was given the shortcut by our e-carrier check team, and I'm going to use that shortcut, and we're going to make some phone calls today. So I'll leave it up to you guys, unless you just want me to go through what I did, but I'll leave it up to you guys to do.
Yeah, let's just dive in and start making some calls there and see how it goes.
Okay, real good. Now, you guys are probably not going to hear my end, or sorry, the who I'm calling. You're probably not going to hear them, but you'll hear on the other end. And I'm going to see if I see some chat action going on, and if you guys can pick up what the main theme is and what I'm doing, I'm going to give you a little star. So there's a strategy that I have that is it's a middle strategy. It's not the beginning strategy, but it's a middle strategy that can push some new brokers a little bit forward, a little faster. Okay. So I'm going to go, let's see who I'm calling first.
TikTok. What's up, man?
How are you? What's going on?
I like this guy.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to, let's see if I can do this guy.
If you're on TikTok, again, like I mentioned, head on to our YouTube if you would like to see Tara. We're on YouTube Live as well, and Facebook, and LinkedIn. Check us out there. Thank you for being here as well. Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, so we'll see what these guys want to do. These guys are out of Texas, and I will tell you also, you guys, I know that we hear, I think that this broker or that broker is going to take my shipper, or, they're going to take my truck or whatever like that. Okay. If you're doing your job well, competition doesn't matter. We're all competing. We compete against ourselves. We're supposed to, hint, hint, right? Make goals for yourself, compete against yourself. And so don't worry about anybody taking your shipper or anything like that. Shippers like who they like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Right. So if you have a good relationship with that shipper, if you feel that your relationship with a shipper or any freight provider, freight forwarder, any freight provider is on the fence or hanging by a thread, dude, get yourself another shipper. Okay. It's not that serious. You're not going to be losing millions of dollars, and you're not going to do that. Okay. You're just going to win. Just keep going. Yeah. So let me see if I can make this quick phone call. Let's see their number.
Yeah, and we don't have to hear who it is or even them on the phone. Just if we can hear you, that'd be great.
Okay. So this one has warehousing in their name. If they're a warehouse, okay, word to the wise, they probably just don't have a lot of time. Okay. They want to know what you got and what, basically what you can do for them. Unless you meet a nice front desk person, and the front desk person is gold. Don't get past the gatekeeper. Oh my goodness. I'll talk about that another time. Don't worry about getting past the gatekeeper.
Sounds
Gatekeeper's
good.
your friend. Okay, let's see. Let me go here.
Thanks, man. Thanks for checking in, man.
We're gonna go to. Okay. All right, making the call. Ringing. Hey, Jana, this is Tara. I'm wondering if you guys service light trucks, like box trucks for freight. I've got a ready truck in Atlanta. I know you guys are based out of Texas, but it shows you cover pretty much the whole southeast area. Okay. 409. Uh-huh. Okay. All right. Who do I speak to there? Okay. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day. Thanks. Bye. Let me get you. This is what her response was. Okay. So that was Jana. I don't know if you guys could hear me, but my voice gets kind of soft. But
Yeah, we can hear you.
okay, great. All right. So Jana was super nice. She said, let me get you over to another number. She gave me another number and she gave me names. Because why? Because I asked. She was not going to give me names. Why? Because people are like, get off my phone. I'm busy, right? But I said, who would I talk to there? And she gave me 2 names. So we're going to see if we can call.
Yeah, Hitman, she is reaching out to shippers, just so you know. We had a question.
Yeah. So these are who I'm calling, okay, just to make sure that we know what a shipper is, because everybody thinks that a shipper is one thing, and everybody's got a different idea what that one thing is. Okay, here's what a shipper is. Anybody who provides freight. Okay, so we're not talking about people who actually might ship it out. We might be talking about someone who receives shipments in and passes it on to someone else, freight forwarder, right? We could be talking to a manufacturer, right? So we could be talking to anybody as long as they provide freight, we're good. Okay. Yeah. So when we say shipper, that's I usually say freight provider for that reason, because a lot of times people will say shipper and think that they're this huge facility that has 1 million docks and ships out. No, not so. Sometimes it's just some warehouse in the country. So, so any freight provider, and I'm going to call this other number that she gave me. Let's see if they can help me. Now, when I call, she gave me 2 numbers. I mean, two names rather. And I have her name. Why do I have her name? Because I need a reference. Okay, so I am, and you notice I repeat the name.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Jana. Hey, Jana, right? Because in my mind, that's how I log in her name. Okay, yeah. I might write it down, but I don't have time to write, so I just remember it. Okay, so we know her name, right? And we know where she sent us to. Well, I don't know where she sent us to, but I'm going to say Jana told me that was the best number to call. Yeah, right. Jana said so. So here we go. It's ringing. Hey, Kathy, this is Tara. Jana told me to give you a ring because I had a question for her. We have a ready truck in Atlanta, and I know you guys are based out of Texas, but I'm wondering if you guys provide freight to light trucks, like box trucks, or if you do dry vans. I'm not sure what you guys do. Okay. Do you have freight going out pretty frequently, or are you looking for carriers? Okay. Well, she said that this was the right number to call, and you are definitely giving me the right information. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. Bye. We have our own trucks. Okay. That's what her response was. We have our own trucks. I still gave her a compliment. Okay. Because later on, now why would I want to keep her in? I mean, she doesn't need trucks, right? So I'm a carrier company. It doesn't matter if you're a carrier company or not. Okay. I'm a broker. It doesn't matter whether you're a broker or not. I'll tell you why later. But this company says we only have our own trucks. Own trucks. That means one of 2 things. One, they actually have their own MC. They run freight with their own name on it and everything. Or number 2, they have contracts with outside companies, right? So later on, if I have and they only do standard dry vans, 53 dry vans. They don't do small trucks. And you notice that my inquiry is kind of light. I had a kind of a light inquiry because nobody wants a box truck. So I was kind of nice about it because just in case, we might have some every now and then. Good. I want you as a contact. But because they only do 53 dry vans, I know 53 dry vans. But what if one day down the road, somebody says, yeah, I've been working for this company. I don't really like it. Da, 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 da. Then guess who I'm going to call? I'm going to go call Kathy.
Yeah.
Hey, Kathy, this is Tara with Freightways. We talked last year and she won't remember me or whatever, but she will like it. Then I'm referring someone else to her that I think is a good referral. And I'm reinforcing that good connection, right? So you meet different people in this industry, and if you look towards helping, you're going to make it. Let me try another one here. Let's try.
Yeah, I always like, when you're selling, the box truck sale, for me, it was more about selling, LTL. So my questioning was more around LTL, less than truckload. And just finding out, hey, how often do you have expedited LTL? Or, how often are you dealing with claims with your, current LTL providers? And have you ever thought about going to a dedicated LTL situation? And in some particular cases, that differentiated me enough to be able to, get into the right conversation or have those conversations.
Yeah, that's right. And you kind of want to dive into that once you know that they can take live trucks. If they talk about LTL, and like for me, my goal is box truck. Okay. So so I'm thinking LTL, that's a box truck possibility, right? A lot of times they're wanting air ride and definite 53 drive-in and things like that, right? So if they're saying, okay, we have LTL, that's great. So where do your trucks normally go to fill up their load? Okay. So then you can meet more freight providers along that just from that phone call.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jared, what's your input really quick? Sorry, Tara. Because we get a lot of people saying they get a lead like you did. You had this lead and they pretty much said, hey, we're good, right? Now, would you still maybe send them some emails, kind of keep them fresh and with your name fresh in their head? How would you go about that? Like, would you keep sending them emails, maybe monthly, in case that maybe they had some overflow, maybe they did need you?
Yeah, for me, it depends on your CRM.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
If a CRM is just a customer relationship management tool, if you can kind of set it and forget it, then I'll put that functionality in there and maybe once a month put, hey, we're still doing, like Tara said, we're still doing this, this light truck. We'd love an opportunity to work with you. Sometimes you just have to walk away.
Yeah.
Right. If it's not the right fit, or maybe in 6 months you follow back up. Or, honestly, maybe at just different time you follow back up, during the day, and hopefully you don't get this gal, right?
Yeah.
Which I've done that as well. So, her objection was, we have our own trucks. Yeah. Well, do you really or not? We'd have to look that up, but there's no reason to argue over it or not make it, if that's the objection she wants to give, then, I personally always acknowledged it and said, absolutely, that's awesome that you have your own trucks. What we're here is for overflow. If you don't have a driver that's in place, or maybe he's sick or on vacation, we'd love to be an overflow driver or set up for you. Okay. And that's usually what I always did in those particular cases, right? Like that. And so that, it really depends. If you have a CRM, set it and forget it. If you don't, that might be one you leave on your list and write a note in there and just say, she mentioned, use your own trucks and go from there.
Yeah. I love that.
So that would be how I deal about it. Go for it, Sarah. Keep dialing.
Okay, so I've got another one here. I just wanted to say I support that strategy. It's really good to do follow up if there is. So now here we are. Okay, this is the day for calls, right? So here we are doing that. I want to tap back in a couple of days with that lady, Kathy. Okay. So I want to tap back in with Kathy after a couple of days and offer that conversation to her. Okay. So right now I'm just drilling down. That's what I'm doing. I'm just drilling down and getting a short list.
Yep.
Okay. Now, somebody might say yes, but most people are going to say, nah, we got our own trucks. Nah, we're full. Blah. Okay, so whatever they say, that's fine. That's follow-up stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so follow up and follow through. As far as contacting, periodic contact, I would, if I were a company, right, I have my own trucks, would I want to hear from somebody once a month that is offering something that I told them I couldn't use, right? So I'd probably dial it back to maybe once a quarter.
Yeah.
Maybe twice a year, right? So probably, spring and autumn type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
exactly.
just only because they said no, and that would be determined by my follow-up, right? So whether or not my follow-up occurs just then, or if it occurs like I usually do, like in a few days, just long enough so that they don't forget me. No more than 72 hours, folks. Don't let it sit. Don't let it get stale.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah,
let me go.
Hitman says, are there any, this is kind of a, are there any lanes that you're not particularly fond of? Yeah, anytime you can kind of hit a pain point, Hitman, you hit it on the head. They hate, all loads going to Denver. There's some carrier out there that has made that shipper upset, where there's a lane out there that is always a challenge.
Right.
Or somebody's griping about it. So it's one of those things where you kind of hit it on the head there with that aspect, Hitman. So Tara, keep rocking and rolling here.
All right, here we go. We're going to do another one out of South Carolina. Let's see what they do. And so one thing that would be really good, just preliminary research, which is why I love the link on eCarrier Check, is because you can often see on their website what kind of trucks they normally use. Sometimes they just have pictures. Sometimes they're so proud of their freight movement, how their freight activity. I don't care. Not until afterwards. I don't care, because number one, I'm not going to talk to somebody who's a crab. Now if somebody's a crab but they get the job done, I got some little fishies for you. But if they're just like, man, we don't need you. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. I don't really. That's just me. That's just not my cuppa. I don't want to deal with that company next. I might still do a follow up, maybe in hopes of getting somebody else the next time around. But otherwise, I'm just kind of drilling down. So, all right, I'm going to make this phone call. It's ringing. It's a menu.
And while you're doing that, for those of you that are newer, needing some extra help, we have some great teachers that we are involved with. Shaggy Consulting, really good teacher there. So if you ever need some support, he's a good guy to reach out to.
Absolutely.
Hit us up. We'll give you some info.
I do think as you're working through that.
Hey, this is Tara, and I am calling to see whether or not you all have freight for my truck. I don't know if you guys use your own trucks or if you have outside freight, but I've got a ready truck around Atlanta, and I know you guys are based close by. So I'm wondering if you can offer any freight. You said you use other carriers? Okay, well, that's kind of what I'm asking about. Do you have anything do you normally drop? That's okay. I probably said it in a confusing way. Do you have anything like maybe for dry vans or maybe light trucks, like box trucks? Okay, alrighty. Well, I just thought I'd ask. I see a beautiful picture here, and I said, okay, well, they're kind of close by, so I thought I'd give them a call. Okay, that makes sense. Do you know? I don't know if you're in charge of that, or if maybe somebody else might be in charge of that, so we can kind of get on the pick list, because we always take overflow. Okay, well, that's kind of lucky. That's less work on your part. Well, I just thought I'd check in. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. Okay, bye-bye. She didn't really know what I was talking about. So the reason why she didn't at first, she did in the end, but the reason why she didn't know at first is because her customers choose their own carriers, right? So the next time when I talk to her, which will probably be in well, I guess where are we at? We're at Friday, so it'll probably be Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, but probably Tuesday. And I will talk to her and ask again who I need to talk to about that, right? Because sometimes customers, doesn't matter if they think they have their freight covered. Sometimes it's nice to know that their freight provider has a backup for them.
Yeah.
Right. And so they may not provide that service. They may leave it completely up to their customers. Okay. But if they know that we're hungry for the work, then perhaps they'll throw us a bone. Right. So we're going to follow up with her in a few days. Okay. Next. And she's a gatekeeper. Okay. Obviously. Right. But what I asked her to do, I asked her to stretch a little bit for me and ask a little bit more about their operation. She has no idea about their operations, right? Gatekeepers don't know. They might think they know, but they don't know. So, but I asked her to stretch a little bit so that when I call next, she's going to remember me.
Yeah.
I asked her for some challenging information she just couldn't provide, and that's okay. So I'm going to call this next one really quick, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Let's see. Why does this show a house? I'm just gonna tap on the website really quick. Okay. So this company may not be. It's interesting, but this may not be what I want. I'm gonna call them anyway. I'm gonna tell you what they provide in a second. They're stringing. Okay, it's a toll-free number and it's ringing forever. There's a chance when I got a menu. I think it's going to wind up asking me to leave a message.
Sometimes those menus are really challenging.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I think Tara said something. This is just while Tara's looking up maybe the next one. She could do one more, and then we'll probably wrap up today. But she said something earlier that I really want to address that I struggled with for a little bit to understand. First off, this industry has so many.
I'll call her later.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt, guys. I heard you guys.
No. You're fine. You're fine. Do one more, Tara. Look up one more, and then we'll probably wrap up from there. But this freight industry has got a lot of jargon, a lot of LTL and CDL and TL and LCL and all kinds of crazy stuff, right? Being clear on what you're wanting to get accomplished on your cold call is probably one of the more interesting things that you need to do. If you're calling and saying, hey, the reason for the call is, we move freight, right? Or if you call and say, well, we're a truckload company looking for freight, or if you call and say, the reason for the call is we're a transportation company, you just need to be clear. If you call and tell them you're a transportation company, they're going to be like, well, what are you transporting? People, kids? What, what are you transporting?
Right.
And especially that gatekeeper who's, making, 15, 20 bucks an hour, and she may not understand the industry. Right. And so, if you tell them that you move freight all the time, sometimes they're like, well, we don't, she may not even understand what it is that they do.
Right.
Heck, it could be a temp person. They have no idea. Right. So you got to be really, really clear with your opening line. The reason for the call is, and then it needs to sound like we're a logistics company that helps companies like yourself move their product to their customers.
Yeah.
Right. That sounded a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So I think being clear with your opening 7 to 10 words is really, really important when it comes to this first call, especially trying to get past a gatekeeper or talking to a shipping manager, something to that extent.
Yeah, I like that.
So, Gerald, let's talk one more here, and then we'll.
Okay, you want to do one more?
Yeah, let's do one more. See if we can get a little luck on Friday.
Alrighty.
It's interesting doing calls. Sometimes you get luck, and sometimes you don't. But
this one is going to be. I'm actually anticipating no luck on a lot of these, and that's so that if I do get something, then it's a bonus.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, let's see what this guy has. Oh, so this is a floor covering company. So let's see what they've got for us.
Yeah, we used to move a lot of tile and different carpets, things like that. So
yeah,
they're good companies.
okay, ringing. It's still ringing. Voicemail. I'm going to hang up. So normally what I do with voicemail, if I see the voicemail, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call right back.
Yeah.
I'm ringing again. It's kind of the middle of the day for this time zone, so they might be doing lunch. I don't mind.
There's something else to keep in mind as a freight broker. What time zone are your clients in?
Yeah.
A few of the first clients we brought on were East Coast time, and if you're not used to starting work at 5 a.m. earlier, you just got to keep in mind what your clients are, what their workflow is.
Yeah, that's good.
What their expectation is. So
Yeah.
if you're in Central Time or East Coast or West Coast time, paying attention to that I think is really important.
Okay, so there was a dead end because that voicemail was full. So
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah,
Try one more, and then we'll one more. I'm always a one more kind of guy.
more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this will actually be these lives are all on our YouTube channel.
Yep.
So you'll be able to see those on there, and I'll put it into my Friday live playlist for you after we get done here, so you can check it out there. Just make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications as well, so that way you always get notifications when we go live.
So this guy, we're gonna call this guy, okay? But they've got like 2.5 stars, and one of the reviews says slow, at least 2 hours to unload the truck, and they take breaks in the middle of unloading.
Dude.
Very slow. We'll leave your truck at the dock to go take lunch right in the middle. Okay. Well,
No.
they got 2.5 stars, but you know what? They've only got 7 reviews, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna give them another chance. add a 5-star review.
That's fair.
Oh, who knows? That could have been that guy doesn't work at the dock anymore. Maybe we'll see. And they don't have a website. Ringing. Hey, this is Tara with Freightways, and I just wanted to know if you guys have any loads available for maybe a dry van. I don't know if you guys do dry van or light trucks like box trucks. So I have a ready truck in Atlanta, and I also have one in New York. So I don't know where you guys go. So it shows Southeast mainly, but Freightways. Yes. Thank you. She's putting me on hold to get me to somebody who can possibly help me.
Okay.
So we'll see how it goes. She said someone who can possibly help. So I'm not sure if she actually knows the person or if she knows the person and just didn't have enough, I guess, professional communication to let me know who it was.
Yeah.
Because right now for me, it's a cold transfer. For her, it might be a warm transfer. So we'll figure it out. And she didn't say her name in the beginning. Hey, Rich, this is Tara with Freightways. Hey, can you hear me okay? Hey, this is Tara with Freightways, and I was passed to you because I was inquiring as to whether or not you guys use trucks in your freight process. We've got a ready truck, and I sure can. What time's good? Okay, all right. I'll call you then. Have a great weekend. Thanks. Not a good time. Call me Monday at 1.
Okay.
Right? Not call me Monday. Call me Monday at 1 because I'll be doggone over the hill if somebody says, call me Monday, and I'm calling right in the middle of when they're busy.
Right.
You told me to call at 1.
Yeah, I love that.
Now you're stuck.
At least he gave you a time. Now you just have to set it in your calendar and follow up. I love that.
That's right. And so I deliberately spoke slowly at the beginning. Okay. So he's not saying no, right? He's saying, I'm wrapping up for the weekend. I'm probably going to just try to dip out of the office kind of early, maybe in a couple hours. And I'm going to I need to deal with this another time because you're new. It's going to take some time to talk to you. Right.
Yeah.
So I deliberately made it slow when I talked to him because I needed him to realize that what I'm here for is not to be a fly by night. I'm here because I'm meant to talk to you.
Yeah.
And I'm meant for you to remember me. So he's not going to remember my name. He's not going to remember the name of my company. He's not going to remember all that. Okay. He may not even remember that I even called on Friday, but he's going to remember that I actually did call him, that some voice called him. Right. Yeah. Because I'm going to remind him. Yeah. Okay. Well, you said to call at 1. So I'm hoping that now's a good time. Got a few minutes. And he's going to say yay or nay. Who knows? It could be lunchtime. We don't know. He might postpone me again, but that'd be okay because I'm in the door.
Yeah, exactly. You got an appointment time. That's good. I love
That's
that.
right.
I love that, Tara. Tara, we're going to wrap up today, but I can't thank you enough for being on. I think, some of the knowledge that you've given us today was wonderful. I enjoyed the calls. I enjoyed your bubbliness and wittiness and willing to do this. There's some vulnerability of being on live and going about doing this. So thank you for today. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Nate, before we wrap up, obviously eCarrier Check, we show a lot of brokers, shippers, we show a lot of brokers, carriers, things like that. How do people get in touch with eCarrier Check as far as, maybe watching a demo or that aspect?
Yeah, first, thanks again, Tara. I think you really gave people a good insight. There's people already commenting saying they're going to watch this later because you gave out some good some gems. So thank you again. Yeah, definitely check us out. We have demos. Sign up with us. Reach out to us if you just want to talk to see if something you'd be interested in. Go to ecarriercheck.com. Check out our website. There's our number, email. And then obviously subscribe to our YouTube. We try to post a lot of content on there. I don't think there's any other software company doing that like we do. We try to provide as much support as we can. Our main goal is to help you grow your business.
Yeah,
so,
number one.
We all want to win together, so let's do it.
Awesome. Tara, thank you for being on. I hope everyone has a great weekend. TikTok, thanks for being on. And we'll see you guys next Friday at 11 Eastern for another live. So thank you.